Welcome, everybody. This is an exciting day. My name is Josh Fryday. I'm the Chief Service Officer for the state of California, and this is California's Summer Celebration of Service, where we get to celebrate all the incredible service that is happening around our state, and we get to celebrate you, our service members, who are getting it done in such a phenomenal way. This really is an exciting day for us. It's an exciting day for everyone at California Volunteers, the entire team who works tirelessly to support you and to make these programs possible. It's a day to celebrate for our partners, the thousands of host partners and CBOs and cities and counties out there who make this service experience possible. It's an exciting day for the governor of our state, Gavin Newsom, who is so proud of each of you. And it's an exciting day for the entire state of California. Because today, at the celebration of service, we celebrate you, the more than 2,900 AmeriCorps members at over 1,000 locations throughout this great state, the more than 120 California Climate Action Corps members at 41 locations throughout our state, and the more than 3,000 Youth Jobs Corps members working with 27 cities and counties, where all of you are doing such meaningful work to lift up our communities, lift up all of us. And we celebrate you today because when your community needed you, you stepped up. When your state needed you, you stepped up. What you have done and what many of you will continue to do as you finish out your service term and continue to serve through the rest of your life, what you have done is significant. And we're celebrating today because what you have done and what you are doing matters. We value it. We need you. And you stepped up in a major, major way. And what we are also celebrating today is something that's actually bigger than you, something that you're now part of, which is a statewide service community, a family of literally thousands of service members, what Governor Newsom is very proud to call the largest service corps in the country that you are part of because of what you did, because you dedicated your time and your talent and your passion to make our communities and our state better. And so you are now part of the very special family, a very special community, and we need to celebrate that because we need more of that. We got big challenges: climate change, poverty, homelessness, education disparities, health disparities. We got really big problems and challenges to face. And we know, though, that we can tackle these together, and we could do it by mobilizing and inspiring the most important asset this state has. And that's the 40 million people that call California home. And you are part of that. You are the tip of the spear of that, of mobilizing and engaging and serving in your communities. So today we celebrate you, and we're going to hear from some really cool and exciting and inspiring members of this community, of this family. We're going to hear from them about their experience, and then we're going to talk about how do we stay connected as a community. You now belong to something very special in the state of California. And we're going to talk about how to keep you connected and keep doing the amazing work that you have started on this journey of change through your service term. I now get to introduce our first speaker, a really critical member of this service family and community, somebody who is, I would argue, not just one of the most important people in education in the state of California, because he is the advisor to the governor of California on all things education, but one of the most important people in education in our country, because of the policies we've led here in California on education, making it more fair and equitable. We are leading the country, and it's because of Ben Chida and his vision. And it's also the reason we get to be here to celebrate today all together across the state service is because he is a tireless champion of you and of this work, because he has been in your shoes before. He has done the work that you have done over the last year. And now we get to hear from my friend and the Deputy Cabinet Secretary for the state of California, Ben Chida. Ben, thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you, man. So Josh just was using the word family a few times, and I just want to really emphasize that. In so many ways, I feel in my bones and my heart that sort of kinship with you all. You all are my brothers and sisters in service, and it means a lot. And I want to share some reflections on what that means to me. Somewhat, they're relatively personal. So, overall, I think that there are many of us who are probably not feeling great about where society is right now, how our communities are doing, the future of the nation, the state, justice, fairness, everything. And you're not alone. Many of us are feeling that way, that sense of unease, the sense that, our public institutions are distant and in some ways irrelevant. And I want to talk about how your experience, what you just did, at least from my experience, my own experience, is the game changer. So some of you know this story a bit. I dropped out of high school my freshman year. So what was happening was my father, my mother were going through some pretty serious financial struggles, bankruptcy, foreclosure. And so what was happening was that was manifesting as stress at home, which was manifesting in me as, being a sort of a bully, frankly, in middle school and a really unpleasant student. When I got over to high school, I just basically dropped out more or less right away my freshman year. And I spent a whole year just isolated in my room. And I want to really emphasize that isolation, right? So I basically disengaged from school, got myself alienated from community in a certain way. And I locked myself in my room, windows down, shades down, and I was alone with my thoughts, and it was not a pleasant thing. It was, I went through a lot of very significant mental health struggles. Eventually, I figured out a path back to continuation high school, transferring, going to community college and transferring to UC Berkeley. And after UC Berkeley, I was in the same spot that many of you are in, which is I want to pursue a life of impact and meaning and service to others. How do I do that? And so I actually joined the AmeriCorps program. Many of you are probably familiar with it, Teacher America. I taught third grade for 3 years in West Harlem in New York City. And I wanted to continue doing that work, but in a more broader systemic way. So I actually got myself this tattoo here as a reminder to myself, 301 is my classroom number, of the work that we're doing and anchoring it to this lived experience. And I want to share that arc with you because you all are on this arc right now in so many different ways. And I want to talk about how Cal volunteers and these different service corps are so central to, in so many ways, getting us all out of that room. We all need to break free of that sense of social isolation, whether you're physically in a room right now or whether you're just mentally in it, struggling with your own struggles or things that are happening in your family. In so many ways, this moment is defined by extreme connection, but also extreme isolation. And I want to share how I think CalVols really helps to be the antidote to that, right? So in my mind, I was talking about sort of the alienation, like the fact that in many ways our public institutions don't feel exactly relevant to us. They feel very far away and distant. And I think I want to offer 3 reasons for why that might be. The first is the lack of lived meaning, lived experience. In so many ways, the people who are setting our policy are also those who did not go through the problems that public policy is trying to solve. We need to do more to anchor our policy and what we're trying to do in a public setting into the lived experience, the lived reality of our people. And in so many ways, you all have just done that. You were the boots on the ground. You were doing that work. You were getting that experience. You were sharing that experience, which goes to the second big value, I think, which is shared meaning. It's not just about this sort of sense that we all want to make sure that we have that lived understanding of the problem, but also we should be developing a shared sense of the problem and a shared sense of where we want to move forward, right? We can't do that alone. And so your service in your community is exactly that. You are building meaning with your fellow service members, your fellow, those who you're serving. You're building meaning together to figure out how do you, in a shared way, co-create an understanding of the problem and co-create a vision for the future. And then lastly, that goes to the reason why it's so important to engage young people like many of you are, which is in many ways right now, we're experiencing sort of a need for generational humility, a need for the current generation who does have the power, who is setting policy in so many ways, to let go a little bit, to defer a little bit, to cede what we want to the next generation, the generation after that. Because after all, young people are going to be the ones who are going to inherit whatever we mess up or whatever we fix. And so you're going to be the ones who have to live with the longest. So we all have to maintain this better sense of humility, of letting go of what exactly we think is exactly right, or what the Gen X or what boomers or others think is exactly right, but actually put ourselves and prioritize the next generation and their preferences. We each do. I'm not just calling to, my fellow millennials, I'm actually also calling to Gen Z. It's like whoever the next generation is, we all just need to let go a little bit more. So that's all to say, in so many ways, Cal Volunteers, the service course, reflect all of this, right? Lived experience, anchoring what you are doing, your vision for the future, and the lived reality of our people. Shared meaning, doing that together, actually trying to co-create, being in with the community, trying to figure out what is that vision together. And then also lastly, you're a core of mostly young people. And this is about trying to make sure that we are not just hoarding power and trying to create or recreate a fantasy or a vision from the past, but rather letting go and letting the next generation lead and encouraging and prompting them to, and adopting their vision as our own. And so in so many ways, you all have done it. And that's why I feel such a kinship with you. I really do feel like you all are my brothers, my sisters in service. And that is what ultimately is going to anchor us as we navigate all the messes that we have to navigate through and fix the things and build the future that we all desperately want to. So I'm so excited for you, and congrats, everybody. And hand it back to you, Josh.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for sharing that. And I think you set the example, which is which California volunteer service member is going to be the next one to get a tattoo.
That's right. That's right.
That is the example.
That's the challenge.
That is the challenge for everyone. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for sharing that. It is not easy to share that story. It's not easy to share your experience, but it gives us hope. And you enable, through your support and advocacy of these programs, and making sure that they're possible, you give hope to so many throughout the state. So thank you for that. Thank you for your continued support for everyone across the state who is serving, who is creating the kind of meaning that Ben just talked about, who's connecting in their community. And now I get to introduce someone who gives me hope, and I promise you will give you hope. Anna Cobarrubias is someone who I've actually had a chance to be out in the field with. I've had a chance to see her work directly. She is a California Climate Action Corps member with LA Compost. She has an unbelievable passion, which I know will come through, and you will all see it shortly, for not just the environment, but for environmental justice. And the way she is engaging her community, the way she is supporting her community, the way she is creating sustainability in her community is exactly why we created the Climate Action Corps. She makes us so proud. So please, let's give lots of love and welcome Anna Cobarrubias. Hey, Anna.
Hi, Josh. Thank you for that introduction. Hello, everyone. Like mentioned, my name is Anna Cobarrubias. I'm a Climate Action Corps fellow with LA Compost. So thank you so much for having me here today and talk about my experience. I have been serving my community of South Central LA, the community that raised me, and neighboring communities for almost 9 months now. If I could describe my experience as a fellow in one word, I would say it has been very rewarding. I started my term with so much excitement, hope, and a lot of nervousness. I was feeling insecure of myself and my abilities to do this work well, even though I had been volunteering with LA Compost for almost a year by the time I was hired. I said to myself, oh no, maybe they should have hired somebody else that's more outgoing, likable, maybe more creative. Before working with LA Compost, I had never done any communications work, led a group of volunteers, or done outreach for an organization. I was new to it all, and it felt scary to be trusted with this work. I cared so much about this work, and I was afraid to make mistakes. I wanted to provide that same experience I received when I first encountered LA Compost. I had fallen in love with the atmosphere that was cultivated in these spaces that LA Compost was in. Everyone was so welcoming, generous, and I felt like I could connect with them easily. I learned a lot about composting and plants when I was there. And I was also having a great time. I enjoyed the connections, the stories shared, both happy and sad, and the sweetness of eating fruits beneath the trees and connecting with my community. I decided to reframe my way of thinking, and I told myself I needed to just try it. And if I failed, it would be okay. I'd give myself grace, patience, and kindness, even if I wasn't accustomed to it. In the beginning of my fellowship, I started thinking of ways I could increase engagement at our farmers market, food scrap drop-off program. I put myself out there to speak to señoras, our elders in Spanish, even though it's not my greatest asset, and connect with them about the importance of composting and the resources we provide to the community. Since not everyone can come volunteer with us, we brought the composting to them at the farmers market. We brought sifters so that folks could be a part of the last step in that composting process and sift finished compost. To bring new volunteers to LA Compost, we turned to social media for climate action. Along with my fellow Kyle at LA Compost, we were coming up with fun and engaging content for the LA Compost Instagram. We were doing everything from come with me to the farmers market, to Pedro Pascal reels, to Wes Anderson inspired reels. I was having so much fun in this journey of stepping out of my comfort zone and doing work that I was passionate about. But I wondered if any of this was having any impact. Eventually, I started to see people I spoke to for the first time about this work, about what we do, about composting, come back as regulars with their food scraps, ready to compost, ready to volunteer. We were getting new volunteers helping us turn and create compost piles, and it was starting to feel like our hard work was finally paying off. Recently, we had a community microscopy workshop at the South LA site I frequently work in, and it was so beautiful to see community that showed up to the event. I was seeing familiar faces that I had talked to over the course of my fellowship be at this event. And it was so rewarding to see that impact in my community. And I was finally able to experience that. My full circle moment came when I witnessed a new volunteer at the farmer's market transform into a committed and well-versed volunteer. She was a little shy at first, but over time she became comfortable discussing our work, assisting at the market. And when I asked her why she enjoyed volunteering with us, she talked about how we made it a welcoming environment, that she enjoyed connecting with us and always learned a lot when she was there. Similar to why I started this work in the first place. It was beautiful to hear that and have someone turn to me now and ask me questions about this climate action work and how we do it. I realized that I was able to become a leader in this space, and I'm positively impacting my community. I'm capable of more than what I think I am, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be a part of this fellowship. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Let's everyone just give Anna some love. That was, as you said, like you heard, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Your impact is significant in your community and in the whole state of California. So thank you, Anna. And in addition to Anna being a leader in her community, we now get to hear from another leader in our state, Bianca Gonzalez, who is an AmeriCorps member from Healthy Futures AmeriCorps. And Bianca, during her year of service with AmeriCorps, has supported mentoring programs in the San Francisco Unified School District. She's helped shape the lives of kids throughout the Bay Area. She's touched and she's helped so many young people in our community. And we're so thrilled, Bianca, to hear from you. Take it away.
Hi, Josh. Thank you so much for that introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bianca Gonzalez, and I'm a second-year Healthy Choices AmeriCorps member. And I'm so honored to be here with you all today. So I found AmeriCorps at an interesting time in my life. I was about to graduate college when a friend from my hometown sent a job opportunity my way. "This is perfect for you." I could feel the excitement in her words. As a soon-to-be college graduate, I was eager to find my next step in life. I had majored in psychology and child studies and was looking for something that would tell me what I was meant to do next. Opening the text and reading about Healthy Choices AmeriCorps, I felt my own excitement bubble up. This was exactly what I'd been searching for, an opportunity to not only discover my own strengths, but to serve my community at the same time. I didn't know then that one service year would turn into two of the most impactful years of my life so far. So for those who do not know, Healthy Choices AmeriCorps members support a school-based mentoring program in the San Francisco Unified School District called Mentoring for Success. Although mentoring takes up the majority of our time, I like to say that a Healthy Choices AmeriCorps member is a jack of all trades. I've seen myself and my cohort go above and beyond to support students through small groups, recess activities, PBIS planning, SEL lessons, and so much more. The folks I have met are incredibly compassionate, driven individuals who I feel lucky to have served alongside. And the connections I've been able to form with students have made me a firm believer in the power of mentoring, something I will take with me into my personal and professional life moving forward. So there is one connection in particular that I want to take some time to focus on, my connection with my mentee. I first met her almost 2 years ago. She was on the quieter side, but I could immediately tell that she had so much to say. Over the course of 2 years, we shared some special memories. I learned that she loved pastel colors, showing off the new gymnastics tricks she learned, and that she already had big ambitions for herself as a 10-year-old. It was a privilege to listen, learn, and encourage her to chase these big dreams. As I watched her MC her elementary school graduation a little over a week ago, I couldn't help but to think about how far she had come, and to think that I could be so proud of someone I didn't even know 2 years ago. I think that really goes to show how mentoring impacts not only our mentees, but ourselves as mentors, because I know that it impacted me. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I entered AmeriCorps thinking I'd just learn about what it's like to work in a school and be a school social worker. And yes, while I did learn those things, I can genuinely say I got so much more out of it than I ever expected to. Co-coordinating a mentoring program allowed me to become an expert community organizer, leader, event planner, record keeper, social media planner, and even more. It was in this role that I actually discovered a passion for administrative support and coordination. So I found myself doing another year of service, this time working centrally to support our schools with mentoring programs across the school district. The opportunity to support our program at this level has set me on a career path that I never imagined myself on 2 years ago, that I feel so lucky and excited to have discovered. I even started using my education award to enroll in a human resource management certificate program, where I can continue to develop the skills I've gained the last 2 years and work towards my goal of becoming a human resources professional. AmeriCorps service not only allowed me to build strong connections with my community, but it gave me more chances to learn and grow than I thought possible. Because I was able to coordinate a mentoring program, I now feel confident pursuing roles where I'm coordinating in an office setting. Because I was a leader among my cohort, I have found a love of being a compassionate, effective leader, and even hope to be a manager one day. Because I've not only been a mentor, but have found my own mentors through supervisors and colleagues during these 2 years, I now plan to continue mentoring wherever I find myself in the future. I'm truly so grateful for this experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca. That was wonderful. Let's all send our gratitude to Bianca for sharing that and for stepping up in such incredible ways. And it was such a wonderful illustration of something the governor believes in so much, and we're working so hard to create a culture of, which is just demonstrate and show that when you serve, you don't have to choose between a paycheck or your passion. You don't have to choose between a career or helping your community. That when you serve, and this is what Bianca just showed us, you can do both. And now we get to hear from someone else who has also done both at the same time. I get to introduce a Youth Jobs Corps service member from Fresno, Jalen Swank. Jalen is part of the Personnel Services Department of the City of Fresno as an administrative analyst. And within 8 months of starting the service program, Youth Jobs Corps, in the Personnel Service Department, she was promoted to her current position. Her story is one of inspiration. We're honored to have her here today. And she represents what all of you represent, which are you are the future of California. You are the future workforce of California. You are the future leaders of California. You are the future decision makers of California. So please, let's send lots of love and support to Jalen. Jalen, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jalen Swank. I am in the city of Fresno Personnel Department. I've been here for 8 months. Just a little bit of background. I was born and raised here in Fresno. My parents, they divorced when I was young, and I grew up in a low-income household. Graduated high school, went to college at San Diego State University, where I had some mental and physical health challenges that prolonged me getting my degree and eventually brought me back to Fresno. And after a while, I joined the Youth Job Corps program in October 2022 as an administrative clerk in the personnel department for the Youth Job Corps program team under Susan Chudy. I was 6 months pregnant. I had been unemployed for the previous 3 months from seasonal state service. It was hard for me to find a job. I took a leave of absence from school. I had 3 classes left, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to finish. But my experience here in the personnel department led me to decide that human resources is the career that I wanted to pursue. So I went back to school. I just graduated with my bachelor's in May in liberal arts, and I was promoted to this limited management analyst position where I'm able to analyze and suggest processes and procedures and deal with the budget and operations. And I was just assigned my first project dealing with the wraparound services for our program, which I have greatly benefited from. And so I am so grateful, so grateful for the exposure to local government operations and personnel and the opportunities that I've had to learn and grow and the inspiration that I've had to make greater change in the coming years as a leader of this city. So I'm very grateful. Thank you for this program and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jalen. And just know how grateful we are for you, for the work that you do, and your enthusiasm and your spirit that you bring to this work excites us all and gives us all hope. So thank you, Jalen. We appreciate you so much. We're so grateful to you. As you can see from all the amazing comments of people showing their love out there for you. Thank you, Jalen. So one of the things I like to talk about and share is that my favorite part of this job is taking credit for all the amazing work you all do and highlighting all the incredible work that you all do. And if you hear Governor Newsom talk about it in the media or on the news or in speeches, he loves sharing your stories. He loves talking about the work that you are doing, the impact that you are having in the community, and how this work is changing your lives. And so I'm going to invite now, we're going to hear from a leader within California Volunteers, Carrie Portillo, who's going to talk to you about how you can help us help you tell the story of your amazing work and everything that you are doing to make this state a California for all. Carrie, take it away.
Thank you, Josh. Really appreciate the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Portillo, and I'm Communications Manager here at California Volunteers. First of all, congratulations on all you have accomplished so far. You should all feel very proud. And I'm excited to be here to encourage you all to share your stories. As we all know, storytelling is a powerful tool, and your stories are one of the strongest foundations of this program. There truly is power in your collective voices. And so we encourage you to submit your service stories via the link being shared in the chat and to connect with us on social media. And since there's no time like the present, let's create a viral moment today. After this event, take a few minutes to record a short video for social media or an Instagram reel or a TikTok. It can be as short as 15 seconds to highlight your service and what your program has meant for you. You can look up your state representatives tag us and tag your legislators. You can look up your state representatives via the URL provided on the slide and tag them when you post. This will ensure that you grab the attention of the state's decision makers so that they also see the impact this program has made for you, the people they represent. Sharing about the amazing work you've done is incredibly impactful. It's transformative. It will encourage others to get involved in service as well. So be sure to take a moment after this event to reflect on that service. Share your stories, share why you're passionate, and don't forget to tag us on whatever platform you choose to share on. Now I'd like to welcome Anan Gallo, our Senior Advisor for Alumni Engagement here at California Volunteers, to share information about our alumni network. Thanks.
Thanks, Carrie. Hi, everyone. My name is Hernan Gallo, Senior Advisor for Alumni Engagement at California Volunteers. Congratulations to all of you for all that you've achieved so far in service programs. For me personally, as a first-gen college grad, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for the networks that I've built over time and the resources that I've received to support me in my career. So today I'd love to chat with you about some of the opportunities for you to stay involved as alumni of your programs and some of the resources available to you as well. So I think we'll have those pulled up in a second when we have them up, but I'll go ahead and start chatting about them. The first thing that you all can do is make sure to follow us on LinkedIn. We have pages for all of your programs. So Youth Jobs Corps, California Climate Action Corps, and AmeriCorps. Make sure to follow us for program updates. And also make sure to show off all the amazing skills and projects that you worked on throughout the past few months that you've been with us on your LinkedIn profile. Make sure to add us as your employer. And also look out for emails from us with future opportunities. And what you'll receive as alumni, this is one of my favorites, is you'll all receive a digital certificate from California Volunteers, Office of the Governor, with both Josh Friday's signature and Governor Gavin Newsom's signature, which is a very special occasion. It's not every day that we can have the governor's signature on something, so make sure to look out for this. Share it on your profile with your networks, add it to your portfolios, etc. The second thing is that you'll receive lifetime access to your program's alumni LinkedIn group, and also access to a alumni network newsletter. And where you might be asking, where can I find all this? Make sure to visit our new alumni network website that Keegan has dropped for us in the chat. So with that, I think that's about it for me, and I'll hand it back to Josh to close this out. So Josh, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Hernan. Thank you, Hernan. So I want to close out this exciting celebration of service throughout the entire state of California, really on the theme of what Hernan just talked about, which is creating this powerful alumni network that you are now part of service members, people who have stepped up to make a difference, to create change. Ben talked about it earlier. We know that there are challenges in our society. We know how difficult they are, how real they are, how unjust so many of them are. But we also know, and hopefully this experience and what you've gone through and what you've done can show that we are not powerless. We can actually do something about it. You've done something about it. One of the themes that we heard today from Anna and Bianca and Jalen, and it's a theme that I'm sure resonated with so many of you, was the word impact. The impact that you had. The impact of service to change people's lives, to connect people, to create meaning, as Ben Chida talked about. We hope that this experience showed you the impact that you can have on your community and on our state, and we've seen it. We've seen how many students suffering from coming out of COVID have been helped by your tutoring and mentoring. We've seen how many communities have become more sustainable, how many heat islands we've addressed because of the climate action you've taken. We've seen how many families have been fed because of the food insecurity work you did, where you showed that you don't just, that in helping somebody give food, you're not just giving them a meal, you're giving them dignity. You're showing them that their dignity is not defined by their circumstances. That's the hope and the impact that you are having every day in your service. So we know and we see it that you are transforming our communities. You're transforming our state. And we also hope that you've seen the power of service to transform your own lives. We know, and I can tell you this from personal experience, having served at many different levels, local government, nonprofits, in the United States military, service is not easy. You know that now. You know that every day is not glory. It is hard work. That's why it's called service. And you've done it. You are doing it. That's why we celebrate you. And that experience, how you've grown, how you've learned to connect with people that probably think differently than you, certainly look differently, come from different backgrounds than you, that experience, we hope and we know you will take with you for the rest of your lives. And I'll finish by saying the real impact of what we're celebrating today, the real impact of all of the service members that are out there, the thousands of people who have stepped up like you to make a difference, is how you will carry that with you for the rest of your lives. how you will stay connected, how you will continue to serve in your community, how will you continue to stay connected to each other, which is why we're building out this alumni network and why it's so important that you join it and stay active, how you continue to stay connected to your community, stay involved, continue to go to farmers markets, continue to mentor, continue to work in your cities and your counties, and how you stay connected to the state. That will determine your impact of your life. And what we've seen and why we're celebrating today is because it is significant and it's real and it's happening. And we are so grateful that you have stepped up to serve throughout this year. And so our request would be continue to serve, continue to make a difference, continue to stay engaged because we need you. If you want to continue serving even after this year, we're actually actively recruiting right now for our Climate Action Corps. So if you want to be like Anna and hundreds of her colleagues who are taking climate action and organizing and engaging communities every day to save this planet, even if we see wildfires covering our skies from Canada, even if we live through droughts and floods and the impacts of climate change, you can do something about it by joining our Climate Action Corps and serving for a year in your community. So you can sign up, go to our website, climateactioncorps.ca.gov, continue to serve, but no matter what you do, stay connected to each other, stay connected to your community, and stay connected to us at California Volunteers, because you have joined and you are now part of something special, a special community and a special family. And we honor you today. And because of your service, we will honor you and continue to honor you for the rest of your lives. Thank you all so much and keep it going. We're just getting started. Appreciate you all. Thank you.